This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
If you commit to something, do it. If you don't want to do it, say no. But if you say yeah and you committed to something, you got to do it. Stick it out. Do it.
And co-host Marney Winfield.
My rent is paid. I have a roof over my head. I'm married to the most amazing man in the world who cares about me and supports me, keeps me safe, and I don't know. I got it all.
Christmas time is here again.
It is the 25th of December. The year is 2021. This is the only Christmas that we have this year. It's almost over. No, depending when you're listening, but no, Merry Christmas. My name is Corey Winfield.
My name is Marney Winfield.
And this is the Christmas edition of the 217 Recovery Podcast. Ho, 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 ho. How was Santa to you, Marnie?
Good so far.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good for me. Mm-hmm. My best Christmas ever.
Really?
Yeah, it's just so much fun. We were so excited. We're actually on location again in Ben Harbor, Michigan, staying at the very nice Courtyard. Mm-hmm. Now, everything has its issues. Everything. You know, nothing's perfect. But overall, I think it's a pretty nice place. You know, I mean, we have free coffee today.
We did from Starbucks.
Free
Starbucks coffee.
Yep, tomorrow it's free.
Is it tomorrow too?
Yeah, tomorrow's free too.
All right.
But normally, no.
Even the baristas need their Christmas time off.
Yeah.
So.
But you come next Tuesday, Wednesday? No, I have to pay for your coffee. So, yeah, but other than that, though, this place has been great. It's nice to have a place where we could just kind of chill out. And, you know, some family members were like, oh, you can't stay here. You could stay here. And, well, there's a lot of reasons why we couldn't. But it is nice, though, to just kind of for us to get away. And, you know, we get to do the podcast on the road, which I don't know. At first I thought, and we said it, or I said it on the podcast the other day that, you know, maybe we'll get some family members on of mine. But I've already done that, you know, and have to pack up all the stuff and bring it over there, and kids running around. And I got excuses for days. So I just said, let's just do one this morning. Mm-hmm. So Merry Christmas, Marnie.
Merry Christmas.
If you didn't get what you wanted, sorry.
Me?
No, I'm just in general saying
general?
if someone's listening and they're having a bad day. And my suggestion is to go to Apple Podcasts. I don't know if you're listening on the Apple Podcasts or if you're listening on our actual app, but you can go there and listen to Steve Harvey. He had a good little mess. I like Steve Harvey. He has his show for me is a little much. I'm not a big fan, but I am a big fan of him and how he motivates me personally. You know, he's not for everybody. You know, you have people that motivate you in your early recovery. If you don't, I suggest you find somebody because that really does help. You know, if you open your mind up and listen to what other people have to say, you'll be surprised what you can think through. And you never know what's going to hit you, what's going to make sense. But he was talking about the past. And I said it to one of my friends this morning because when he was talking, I was thinking about my past and this and that. And I know, you know, this other guy, and my opinion is he could have used that speech today. So I said, Merry Christmas, homie. Mm-hmm. And then the next I sent him that link. Whether he listened to it, I don't know. But, you know, I just feel like he could really take something out of that. So, yeah, Merry Christmas, homie. Can't change the past.
One suggestion I have is I was thinking about it as I was watching Christmas movies, laying in bed before, you know, because our Christmas stuff with your family is going to be later on today. And I'm like, nobody's, you know, sent me a text saying Merry Christmas yet. Like, what's up with that? And I kind of felt hurt. And I thought to myself, why don't I send it out?
There you go.
So be proactive about it. Take it upon yourself. Even if it's just finding a silly gift. How do you, the little message, you know, picture messages or whatever that you can do on your cell phones. And just, you know, find one that would be humorous to whoever it is that you're sending it to. And all of it is just you attach that little picture that says Merry Christmas. And every person that I sent one to, I got one back from.
Nice.
So it's you know, don't just wait around. Be proactive about it. And, you know, they'll be like, oh, look, you know, Marnie says Merry Christmas. And feels good.
Yeah. I was going to send your mom one, real early. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, it's too early. And then
she beat you to the punch.
Yeah, beat me to the punch. I was going to call my dad earlier too, and I'm like, ah. And then he actually called me, and we spoke for half an hour, so that was nice too. Because I wanted to get that out of the way. Because once we go to the family function, then it's like I said earlier, it's chaos. It's kids; they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And no, I mean, there's really not that many kids, but still, it's just a lot of people, and it's hard to answer a phone call. Then it's hard to answer a text, and kind of get that stuff out of the way before the family functions, and hopefully you're seeing family, and if you're not, just be thankful that you're still here and that, so other people aren't, from addiction, and just make it through the day, man. Christmas was a hard one for me. A few years ago, I told you about that morning, it was like things weren't going the way I expected them to, and I got my feelings hurt, and boy, did I use that to my advantage, and obviously it was to my disadvantage because I had a bottle in the trunk ready to go, which made me a big a-hole at the Christmas because I just wanted to leave. And then people weren't on my time because they need to be here now. I'm not waiting for these people. I don't care. I need to go because the one thing that was on my mind was drinking. And I had that excuse, boy. I was ready to throw my pity party. And looking back, it's like, yeah, that's all I did. That I could have addressed it then, but instead I took the childish way out, and I guess I would call it childish, or maybe that's just the addiction. And once you got that on your mind of, I'm going to do this, and once you have the excuse for it, made it even easier. I don't know. I'm glad that I'm not there today doing that, and I just am lucky. Really am. God's good.
Yeah.
God's been very good to me. And the doors that have been opened over the last 3 years has just been amazing, and it's been some work, a lot of work, but fun work, good work. It's working on myself, and for me, it really doesn't feel like work, and I'd prefer to call it fun or learning. But hang in there if you're having a tough time. I know a few guys are, but can't beat yourself up, man. Go listen to some Steve Harvey. He explains it pretty well about the past.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, and I didn't know this, but in LA, when the sun goes down, and I am anyway, growing up in Southwest Michigan with sunsets. Right. And when the sun gets right there on the water, bam, like perfect circle just above the water. I guess in LA, 3 minutes. You can set your watch to it, he said. He's like, set your timer, 3 minutes is all you got. 3 minutes, 1 second, can't see it anymore, gone.
Sunset.
And I was like, dang, I've never timed that out in Michigan. But he said, in LA or the ocean or whatever out there, 3 minutes, all you got. And he said, you can't do nothing about it. Once it's gone, it's gone. And yeah, that's true in the past. We can't change anything, and we've had trauma. All kinds of things happen to us. Reliving them, it doesn't help. He just kind of explained that in one of his. They're not. I mean, they are a podcast, but it's his closing thoughts. That's what I was saying earlier, and it's not his whole morning radio show, but it's just the closing thoughts, and it's usually very inspirational. So if you're having a problem with the past today, or if you're thinking, we should have done that, let's move forward with it. God has a plan for you. God has a purpose. It's not up to you to understand it or know it, but you should know it, but not actually know the purpose right now. But just know that you're alive for a reason. Other people aren't. Be lucky and be thankful, and try to figure some things out and stay away from drugs and alcohol.
Yeah,
well, alcohol is a drug, but
and the other thing that a lot of the people that I know back in where we're from are using the recovery family as their family for celebrating the season, and everyone who has like-minded people, we've all been through hell and back, and so this can be a hard time for people, especially if they're not close to family, or maybe your family's not healthy for you to be around. Yeah. And so you need to make that decision to choose not to be in those situations, whether you're welcome there or not. Some situations our family is still angry, and you haven't earned that trust back to be even invited to certain events. All these things happen when we've been in addiction, And all you can do, in that moment is just recognize that you're exactly where you need to be in recovery and to keep doing the next right thing. And lots of times you can find that strength with, just by going to, lots of times they'll have 24-hour alkathons, or NA will put on events that happen from Christmas Eve throughout till Christmas night. And so, Google that in your area, wherever you're at, and see if, something pops up that's available just in your town and they'll have doors open. Most of the time food's there, meetings throughout, speakers throughout, and it's just, it's good fellowship and, a healthy place to be. So find where you need to be, don't just sit around and, be like lonely, and, that can be a trigger for a lot of people, especially during the holiday season. So, make the right decisions.
Yeah. In Zoom, you can Zoom it. But, I mean, if there's one that's local that you could actually physically go to, that's obviously probably everybody's first choice. But if for some reason you can't, then, look on some websites and see if you can Zoom up some stuff, or, do what you need to do. But, you got to stay active with being sober, being in recovery.
It's a good thing. It's a happy thing.
Be all in, player. Be all in.
For real.
Life is good. It really is. Not all the time. There's bad moments. Yeah. That happens. But you know what? There's good moments coming. Trust me. You stay sober, I'll give you $10. No, I'm not giving you $10 if you stay sober. God will give you life. But no, I'm guaranteeing you, stay sober, great things are going to happen. Guaranteed. So that's my guarantee, which I think was actually somebody else's guarantee.
I'll back that up
long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny how that works. But we're not going to do a very long one today, but I just wanted to touch base. I know there are some people that do like to listen to us all the time, and they like to hear us and what we have to say and where we're at and what we're doing. So we appreciate you for doing that and for following us and for sharing our message with your friends or people that you think might need to hear it, whether that's someone who's suffering right now, battling addiction, whether it's somebody who's in early recovery, whether it's a family member or a friend. Share it with people that can kind of take some, kind of like I did the Steve Harvey thing. It's like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to repeat it all. Like, I came up with this. No, man, go check Steve Harvey out, and Marney and I, we probably do the same. We're going to have some people on next week. And I know that I said I was going to have that one guy on, but Preston stood me up, and I'm not going to track people down. And I said, hey, what's up? He said 4, and I ain't getting a message. So I was like, all right, man. But Gerald will be on probably next week sometime, which I'm looking forward to that. And he asked, hey, man, can I come on? And he said he went somewhere, and I don't know where he went, but he said he has a real strong spiritual connection or something like that, which it sounds interesting. I told him, I was like, hey, man.
Like rekindled his spiritual connection?
Or he found something, and I'd love to hear what he found. It's stuff like that can help other people. The stuff I say is not going to help everybody. The stuff you say is not going to help everybody. But if we can bring more people on the podcast and, share, what they did, and that might help somebody. And I told him, I was like, yeah, dude, we're all about that, man. So next week, and it's kind of weird too, because I was thinking about, I don't know, it's probably about a week or so ago, about putting it out there, because at one time we had the 217 Recovery Podcast, we had Podcast Nation, and also Anna's Broken and Beautiful. She had a podcast as well, not just a blog. And then that kind of fizzled and just wasn't getting done. And then the other people kind of bounced. And so now we're just back, had been back to just one podcast. And it didn't really hit me until the other day when I was just like, I was thinking about that. And I was like, we should have more people write blogs, because you and I, we just don't have time.
No.
And we don't want to half-ass things. And, sometimes if it hits me or something, I will sit down and write one, but I don't think I've done one in 6 months, and it just really gets away from you. But if you're in early recovery and you're like, man, I like to write, I think I could do a blog. If you're willing to commit to it, I would love to talk, and we could set that up. And same thing with the podcast. And as soon as I say that, here comes Gerald, like, hey, man, can I be on your podcast? And I kind of mentioned it to him, and I think he was kind of like, whoa, I don't know about starting a podcast, but I just really want to be on one. But it just kind of made me think, maybe I should pitch that. And then after I was thinking about the blog one, I get like an email saying, and it was from the people that we use our website stuff through, and how Anna publishes her blog, but it was like, how to start a blog. And I was like, man, I was like, okay, there's some signs there. I think I should be laying this out there for people who might be interested, because if it can help people, and you can help people by just being real, and if you're just like, I want to jot down every day how I feel, it doesn't have to be 10 pages, how do you feel, why you feel, just a check-in every day,
And for those of you that journal, that's blog.
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't be too overwhelmed by the word. I mean, other than the fact that other people will read it, that's the one thing I think holds people back a lot. Because it's kind of like, I don't know, does this might not make sense to everybody, and is it written right? And, but if it's you and it comes from a place where, that for feelings that you need to get down on paper, by all means, I'm sure there's other people that will benefit from reading it.
And it's being vulnerable.
Absolutely.
That really connects with other people, and you can show that side. And, it's scary. I share stuff on the podcast that people are probably like, whoa, too much info.
Right.
And I leave myself open and I'm vulnerable, and that's okay, because people can realize, oh, wow, like other people have been there in that situation, or maybe your situation is 20 times worse. Maybe you should be the one sharing stuff, That's the kind of thinking, and that's the kind of stuff that will help people. And you never know who's going to listen or who's going to read it and really take something from it. But just being honest with yourself and writing it, and if you're interested, hit us up and we'll help you through it. But I just figured I would mention that, and I'll probably post it on social media at some point in the next few weeks. But just to give more people opportunities to help.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks again. As right when I say we're not going to go on for too much longer, and I ramble for another 20 minutes. But no, thanks again for listening. Have a Merry, Merry Christmas, and enjoy it, because it's the only one we're going to have this year.
Yeah. Happy holidays, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Talk to you later.